This is Moyes and more. This is Moyes and more. This is Moyes and more with Jake Moyes, the host of the most. Hello and welcome to the 4th edition in the 2nd series of YouTube's funniest comedy show. It's Moyes and more. I'm gonna say it. What a shit week we've had this week. What a shit week. Which brings us on to what has been going on this week. And let me tell you, not a lot of good has been going on. First of all, Beasts of the East 2. Now, where I live, that was pathetic. I've seen more flakes come off the kid's head with dandruff. Right? There was hardly any snow here. That was basically the snow that we get in, like, November. Alright? How can they call that a sequel to the first Beast of the East? That was shit. Right, I'm going to say it. Also, last week we had Stephen Hawkins died. Anyone ever try to reboot him? You know, anyone try to reboot him? Apparently I'm hearing that his last words was Windows shutting down. I don't know if that's true or not. Or did it just crash? Did it just go off? Anyone tried turning him off and on again? Right, has that worked? No, he's actually dead. Okay, Stephen Hawking died, and a death that I cared about a bit more was Jim Bowen, the Bullseye host and comedian. You can't beat a bit of Bully, you can't beat a bit of Bowen. Challenge the other day, had a 24-hour marathon of Bullseye. I watched a few episodes, but there's only so much you can take. Also, Ian Lee didn't actually drink Joe Swasher's urine, which I was very disappointed about. And he started an argument with Jim Davidson, who we'll be looking at later on. So I wasn't very happy with Ian Lee last week, but he's on holiday this week, so no late night alternative from him this week. In Coronation Street, David got raped.
I think there's been a rape up there.
So, yeah, bit dark from Corrie this week, bit of rapage going on. Ricky Gervais came back to Netflix with his all-new stand-up tour, Humanity, and it's one of the funniest tours I think he's ever done. And congratulate old Ricky then. Ricky, if you're watching, you know, well done. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Very dark as well. I don't think a lot of people easily offended won't like it, but if you like a laugh, go watch Humanity. It's on Netflix now. And of course, on Sunday we heard the awful news that Ant McPartlin from Ant and Dec. This week has been the most use of his last name. No one ever uses his last name, but this week everyone has used his last name. Right, Ant McPartlin got arrested on suspicion of drink driving. He has since been released, and he has gone to rehab. He's gone back to rehab to get better, which means there's no Saturday Night Takeaway this week or the week after, but the 2 remaining episodes left in 2 weeks' time, they will be hosted by Dec. Yeah, so that will just be Dec's Saturday Night Takeaway. Whatever happens, I hope they don't get Scarlett to join in. Bloody hate Scarlett Moffat. She was alright in the jungle, but now she's got a bit popular, and yeah. Also this week I'm dressed like a lunatic. So that's proper hot this week because it's the first day of spring on the day of filming this on Tuesday. Next weekend the clocks go forward, so we lose an hour's sleep, but we gain an hour in the evening of light. So I've ditched the jacket this week because it is bloody boiling hot. Okay, so like I said, not a lot good has been happening in the week this week. So, shall we go on to tribute one of, well, I'm going to say it, joint first favourite comedian in the world, Jim Davidson. He got into a fight with Ian Lee when Ian Lee refused to read out Jim Davidson's tweet to rest in peace Jim Bowen, great guy, on Good Morning Britain, and it sparked outrage on Twitter. And I felt like a kid when your parents are arguing, because I like both of these guys. And I felt like a kid. I just, come on guys, don't divorce. So anyway, let's tribute the one, the only, the genius that is Jim Davidson. James Cameron Davidson, OBE, was born on the 13th of December 1953. He's an English comedian and presenter who now goes by the name as Jim Davidson. His highest profile roles came on television when he hosted The Big Break and The Generation Game. He's also a stand-up comedian and writer, developing adult pantomime shows such as Boobs in the Wood and Cinderella spelt with an S, both of which has played to sell-out audiences. Davidson has become known for his use of controversial jokes about women, ethnic minorities, gay people and disabled people, although he denies accusations that he was prejudiced against these groups. Davidson found fame when he was just 17 on the New Faces talent show, where he came on to win. Since then, Jim Davidson has had 5 marriages, and on the 5th wife he is still with her, which is the longest he has ever been with anyone. He starred in TV sitcoms Up the Elephant and Round the Castle, Home James, Thames Television, and stand-up Jim Davidson was recorded at Royalty Theatre. On the 2nd of January 2013, Jim Davidson was set to become a housemate in the 11th series of Celebrity Big Brother, but was arrested at Heathrow Airport by the police officers working on Operation U-Tree. On the 3rd of January 2014, a year after being arrested and without being charged, he became a housemate on the show's 13th series. On the 29th of January 2014, he left the Big Brother house as the winner. In 2006, for the first time in 14 years, he refused to play Great Yarmouth, stating that the resort was full of overweight people in flip-flops and fat children of all colours and no class. The inhabitants of town took this as a personal affront, although said he was referring to tourists. However, Jim Davidson has recently been back at Great Yarmouth and he plays there year after year. Davidson has also appeared in the UK charts under his own name with a double A-sided White Christmas Too Risky that peaked at number 52 in December 1980. And Jim Davidson is also a fantastic singer with songs going on in the background now. Some of Jim's work comes from going over to support the troops out in different countries, supporting them while they're out on the battles, and since coming back and sort of laying down his work, he now works with veterans in the charity run by Jim Davidson, Care After Combat. In March 2018, Jim Davidson went on to the Piers Morgan Life Stories to discuss his wives and marriages and his very successful career, although he also discussed that he had been called racist, homophobic and all sorts, even though he swears that he isn't. And Jim Davidson, he is a controversial comedian, and his interview on Piers Morgan's Life Stories was Piers Morgan's Life Stories' most watched ever episode. On the 6th of July 2006, having failed to keep up on payments on a £1.4 million back tax bill that he had reduced to £700,000, Jim Davidson was declared bankrupt. Jim Davidson is a bloody legend. It's got to be said. So tonight I am dining with another. One half's called Frida, and the other half is Fred. Yes, and we will be picking Jim Davidson up later on. Actually, can we pick him up? Because he is a, large, he's a basic 60-odd-year-old, isn't he? So we'll be picking him up later on with some of his most funniest audio clips, which I may say some may find offensive. Let's talk about childhood, shall we? I was a twat as a child. Okay, I'm going to say it. I probably still am. I was a twat as a child. In some respects. I was a lovely little boy. You know, Mummy, can I do this? Mummy, can I do that? Mummy, can I do this? But I was a twat when it came to siblings. Okay, I was a twat. I was a basic younger sibling who always cried. I was a crybaby as a younger brother. Now I realise why my brother got so mad with me, because I was a crybaby. I was a twat. When we were younger, me and my brother had our own balls. Yep, still got mine. Now, me and my brother had our own footballs that we used to play with in the garden. And we used to throw them up in the tree, they'd come down, we'd throw them up in the tree again, we'd kick them around the garden. But if he touched my ball, if my brother touched my ball, there would be hell to pay. I'd cry. I'd cry, but get off my ball! Get off my ball! And then the dad would come out, be like, hey, he wasn't like that. He was like, why are you interfering, Lewis? Why are you interfering? Leave him alone, that's his ball. So I was a twat. Now I know why he was fed up with me. It's the same, we had little toy monkeys. We had little sort of toy monkeys that would throw up. Because monkeys stay in trees, see, I was a logical kid. Because monkeys stay in trees, threw the monkeys up, and I'd get stuck. And I'd cry. Because mine got stuck. So Dad would come out, yeah, why are you throwing your monkey up in the tree? I've told you about this, boys. So he'd get the ladder, get my monkey out, and I wouldn't learn, I'd do it again. Get stuck, cry. So I know why my parents got fed up with me as well. I was a twat. But I was only a twat to my brother, so he wouldn't get the chance to be a twat for me. I thought I could out-twat the twat by being a twat to the twat that was going to twat me if I didn't twat him. Right? Because you know what older siblings like with the younger ones? They think they can just push and shove them about. So I thought, hey, I'll be a twat. Childhood was so much better back in my day. I'm 17 now, so my average childhood was about 13 years ago. Right? Childhood's from the age of 6 to 12. Okay, that was where your childhood is in the peak. Right, because when you're 6, your mum starts sort of, alright, you can start to go out and play on your bike and meet up with your mates in your own village. You know, it started off small, it started off in your own village, in your own garden, in your own street, in your own village, in your own town, in your own park. Right? That was the life, wasn't it? Going out every evening, every Saturday, you know, playing out with your mates. That was the life. That was childhood. Out making dens and tree houses, having water fights and then crying when someone hit me with water. That was childhood, wasn't it? Come on, guys, that was childhood. We went sledging. We built go-karts. We went down the old hill in our own go-karts. We drank out of taps. We drank out of hoses. And we went home when the street lights went on. Came on, okay? That was our childhood. Kids today don't know they're born. It's so much different now, isn't it? Kids play on their phones when they're 4. 4-year-olds have bloody iPhones. I didn't get my first phone until my 9th birthday. I didn't get my first phone until I was 9. They have them when they're 3 or 4 now, playing bloody Candy Crush. And there's a new game I saw someone playing the other day. You grow weed. What a game to let kids play. What a game. So kids these days, they stay inside playing these games until they're about 11, when they find the outdoors. They find the outdoors. They open the curtains for the first time in the world. They look out. Bloody hell. There's a place outside. And they go outside and they don't do what we done when we were 11. Nope, they go down to the old offie, get someone to buy them some vodka or some Strongbow, a big old bottle of Strongbow, some cheap old ciggies, and they sit down at the park. I can't remember doing that when I was 11, can you? And they do drugs nowadays. Kids do drugs. I've never touched a drug in my life. I'm 17, I've been one of them teenagers through school. I wasn't a nerd. I was a bit of a twat, but I wasn't a druggie. And I stand by that, I'll never be a druggie. But kids at 11 are druggies. Why can't kids cry like I used to when someone fiddled with their balls? Oh. Yeah, I'll cut that bit out. We hid in dens with our mates and our mates' dads. We went sledging in bin bags. What happened to children? What happened to kids? What happened to childhood? What happened to life? I tell you, kids don't know they're born nowadays. I've always wanted kids. When I say always, I won't really think about it when I was 4. But I've always wanted the fact of having a family of my own. But I'm now starting to think, do I really want kids to bring into this shithole of a country, this shithole of a world? When kids, they're doing drugs in the rate of improvement, right? Kids will be doing drugs when they're 6 by the time I have children. I don't want that for my kid. And you can't trap them inside. You can't trap them inside all the life, can you? They get square eyes from all that computers. And then they get red eyes from all the drugs. And most of them are drug addicts and complete yobbos and complete waste of spaces before the age of legal sex. With a few teenage pregnancies chucked in, a few HIVs chucked in. This is not how I grew up. And this is not how I would want my kids to grow up. But what could I do about it? What could I do? You can't stop them going out, see their friends, but you just don't know what they're doing when they're out with their friends. You can't keep them in, because then they don't get the childhood I had. It's really tough, really tough. So I have got some words of advice for any younger people watching this who are thinking about getting into drugs, booze, and being a twat. More of a twat than I was when I was a kid. So I have got some inspirational stuff here for you. Here, okay? Okay? Just grow up, you inconsiderate arseholes of kids and teenagers of today's day and age. You don't know what you're missing out on. Yeah. That was supposed to be a little comedy script, but turned out to be a rant. So, there's only one thing to do, isn't there? Head back to Jim Davidson.
Oh, it's amazing, Chalky. He's got this wonderful car, you know. He's got a brand new 1963 Vauxhall Cresta. You know, the pink ones with the leopard skin seats and all the spears on the roof rack. Little dogs with noddy heads like that. They must be worth about 20 quid, Chalky's car. Driving it down the road. I don't want that. What's the matter with your car, bro? All of a sudden, he's got the traffic lights and broke down. They broke down. The lights are going red, amber, green, green, amber, red. Who's round the corner? Nick, 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 Nick. How Bill? The little skinny ones with the pointed heads look like bar refills. One of you, Mom, over there, look. Nice cop up there. They're not prejudiced, are they? Poor Chalky, the black fella, little man. All the lights are going red, amber, green. The policeman's grabbed his radio. Sarge, hello, I've got one. What's he doing? Broke down. Is he black? Yeah, nicked the bastard. And he's walked up red, amber, green. The copper, you know what I mean? 2 Wrigleys and a silly walk. Revolving head. He said, what's the matter, mate? Haven't we got to colour you like that? He said, I broke down. I'm waiting for a mechanic. Wait for what, son? What, son? What's that, son? I'm waiting for a mechanic. A mechanic? What's a mechanic? A mechanic. With his father and the rascal, the jewel of the carburetor, a mechanic. He said, oh, a mechanic. A mechanic. He said, well, lift your bonnet up. He said, I'll have a little fiddle myself. He twiddled around with it, shut the bonnet. He said, start the car. Let me start it first time. So I said, oh, what was the matter with it? He said, he got shit in the carburetor. He said, how often I got to do that then?
So I've got in bed with me pants in case there's a burglar. She sort of got undressed, it's like that, and it's so horrible. And it's not happening. Nothing. And she's like looking round like that. It's like the joke, nice curtains. And then I sort of put my arm round her and the static went dink. You know, you've sparked me nipple. And I'm trying not to laugh because I don't want her to get up and be insulted and go home because I've got no Dear Diary. So I said, and she gets, I got cold feet, and I fucking feet were freezing. I'm sparking, freezing. So I'm trying to kiss her and getting nothing back, and I put my tongue in her mouth, and she starts talking to me. She's like, look. and I'm getting nowhere. Cold feet. So I thought, right, I'll just have to shag her. I don't wish to be rude and vulgar, but deep down, that's what you fucking got here. I'm trying to be nice. I've got a suit on. But I thought, fuck it, I'll just have to do it. So in the films, it does it on its own, doesn't it? You leap on top where the girls go, oh, you're so big. I'll put that bit in just for me. No, but it doesn't in reality. You've got to do all that, haven't you, and try and... So I'm lined up, you know, the I won't go into it, but the departure bit, you know that first bit? Because sometimes you get there's Biffin's Bridge and up. I know that. Biffin's Bridge, where your chin fits, lads. So I thought, right, so I've just there now, ready, and I'll never forget, I've had spark me nipple, cold feet. She said, another amazing thing to me, she said, you'll catch my cystitis. I didn't know what cystitis was. I thought it was a fucking dance, actually. So I thought, well, I must have some of these cystitises now because I've made contact. I couldn't fucking dance anyway, so it would have done me a favour. So in goes the winkle, standard NATO issue, lads. Nothing special there, but fucking suddenly I'm doing much going, blimey, here, start me nipple again, fucking doing really well. This is great. And then she said, oh, what? Mind me coil? And I've now had to turn the light out because I'm laughing so much. Mind me. Now I didn't know. I don't know what coils are. I know they have them, but I don't know how you fucking mind one. As if you. I know they're. You have to empty them. I don't know. So I thought I'll get on me back, and she can do the aiming. Really? So as she's gone over, the leg went like that, and suddenly... This is the captain speaking again. I've now got, careful. Fucking howling. I am tears. So I've had spark me nipple, catch me cystitis, which I've now fucking well and truly got. Find me coil, and now... And I swear... If that had been me, I'd have shot myself with embarrassment. And all she said was, oh, look at me.
What a fantastic comedian Jim Davidson is, and you can tell by them things there if you weren't easily offended. Hello to all you that weren't offended. What a great comedian. And next week we've got, okay, my all-time favourite comedian, okay, joint with Jim Davidson, of course, because they're two completely different. One of them is rude mouth, lovely, and the other one is Peter Kay. A bit of blue for the dads, bit of blue for the dads. Okay, Peter Kay will be joining us next week. Well, he won't be joining us because no one really knows where he is or what's happened. Right. And then, after next week, Bullshit returns, which is my spoof on Bullseye. Rest in peace, Jim Bowen. Okay, but that is it for this week. We've got a Ian Lee song, Beatles leading us out. Don't know what it is. Haven't checked. You know, been busy, been gardening, as you do. So that is it from this week on Moyes and More. If I don't see you through the week, I'll see you from the window. Goodbye. We nearly fell over again.
Here we go!
Man.
Oh, yes! Love, love, love. Love, love, love. Love, love, love. Cat is easy.
Shut your face.
Let me take this one, guys. There's nothing you can do that can't be done. There's nothing you can sing that can't be sung.
Well.
Nothing you can say, but you can learn how to play the game, 'cause cat's easy!
Seriously, I'm going to kick you right up your...
Steady. Nothing you can't make that can't be made. No one you can save that can't be saved. Nothing you can do, but you can learn how to be you in time.
Yeah.
Cause cats
It's
easy.
easy.
Take it, Alan. Take it home, baby.
All you need is love.
Yeah, da 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 dum.
All you need is love.
Yeah, da 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 dum.
All you need is love. Love.
Yeah. Love is all you need.